Hi everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to can the butternut squash. So it's very similar to canning the cushaw, but I thought I would bring you along the way. We still have quite a bit of this, as well as acorn squash, but I do want to keep them separate for canning purposes so I know what I'm using when the winter comes. Anyway, here we go. And I am going to rinse these off just because there's some field dirt on them. And I don't want to dull the blade of my peeler too much. And I think that taking the dirt off a little bit will help. I know it seems like it's kind of redundant, but like here, just want to kind of rinse it off and get them ready to peel. Then I'm going to use my ceramic peeler, I think. That seems to work best. So this kind of tough skin, like the cushaw, had kind of a tough skin on it, but that ceramic peeler works really well, and I'll show that to you in just a few minutes. Now we got a nice breeze blowing today. It's a beautiful fall day. Leaves are everywhere. So what better activity, since I'm kind of home, to get this done. Okay, I wanted to show you my ceramic peeler. At first when I saw this at the store, because I was looking for a metal one, I thought, I don't know if that's going to work, but it really does. As you can see, this kind of has a skin similar to the cushaw, but the ceramic peeler actually seems to make kind of quick work of it. I just kind of wanted to show you what kind of skin is on there. Once you get a good running start with it, it does pretty good. So I'm going to peel all these, and then I'm going to put them in my colander. Well, actually, I'm going to set them aside. Then I'm going to open them up and show you what's inside, and then chop them up and put them in my colander for another rinse. I'll tell you what, they don't call these butternut for nothing. They are hard to peel. I actually got the other peeler out. And this is probably going to take the most time because putting them in the jars is no big deal. But skin's really tough. Seems a little, and curvy naturally, so it's a little, I got the other peeler out, and it actually works better in the curves of it. But I'll tell you, this thing is as tough as nails. But they are really good. It'll be worth it, I know that. But I wanted to show you how I'm attempting to get this peel off of this. I'm going to have carpal tunnel by the time I'm done. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm just whining. That's all. Okay, I wanted to show you what the inside looked like. As you can see, not too big of a seed cavity. So you get a lot of meat, actually more from the top of it. That's all solid. So all that's going to get canned. But I kind of wanted to show you, how much we're getting as far as seeds go. I don't know if Sam's going to want to save any of these. But it is very, very tasty. I know many of you have already had butternut squash, but I'm hoping to can most of it and save it for winter. Also, make sure you have a really sharp knife, because these things are much tougher than the cushaws. And you know me and my sharp knives. I love a sharp knife. All I'm going to do is cube it up. Put it in my little basket here because it's going to get rinsed again. The last time I canned and filled the canner, I filled up this colander twice with squash. So that gives me a good key to go by as far as how much I want to cut up today. I'm going to fill this twice, and that should fill my pressure cooker. I'm back. I have my rings on to boil. I have 2 pots of the cut up butternut squash. Just starting to heat now. I don't think I'm going to let it go as long as I did last time. I know that the pressure cooker will, see, here's another one. Pressure cooker will, cook things pretty tenderly. So I'm not going to let them, typically you'd let this come to like a boil for about a minute. But I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to try something different. So, anyway, I got my jars ready. You don't need to sterilize them, but they have been washed in hot soapy water and set out. When you put them in the pressure cooker, you don't have to sterilize them because the heat in there is enough to kill anything. So what I'm going to do this time, instead of filling the jar at a time, I'm going to fill them all just so I can make sure I've used up all the squash, because I always get to the end and I either don't have enough for the last jar or I have too much. So this way I'm hoping I can divvy it up a little better. So we'll start filling jars in just a few minutes. I kind of wanted to show you filling of the jar to see about the debubbling, etc., because these are kind of big chunks of butternut squash. So let me show you. I'm just kind of filling the jar with my, I don't even know what kind of a strainer you call this. It's like a, I don't know. It works for everything. It works great. That's all I know. It's another kitchen gadget. If you notice, when you put these in like this, it seems to be like, it looks like you're really filling the jar fast. However, when I take everything out and I go, see how it is? I go to debubble. Sorry. Kind of run my little, some kind of a plastic tool, whatever you have, down along the sides, in the center, and all of a sudden, you got more room. And what I like to do also, even though this is a very sweet squash, I always like to put a fourth of a teaspoon, I don't put as much, some people put a whole teaspoon, of pickling or preserving salt. It's not really pickling it, it's just extra preservative. I don't like to put a lot of salt in anything though, so I like people to season it on their own. But as you can see, I can still fit more in here. So, I'm going to continue, put some more in. Once in a while, I'll kind of shake it up, make sure I'm getting it all down in there. Debubble again. And it still looks kind of full to me. I want it packed pretty full, because once these cook, they're going to shrink a teeny bit, but you still want to leave room for the liquid, etc. Now I want to put the liquid in, which is from the same pot as I cooked the squash in. We're just going to kind of fill our jar to about an inch head space at the top. I'll show you here. This worked out really well for the kashaw that I did. I didn't have any floaters, meaning that everything floats to the top. But once I put the water in, I debubble again. I can't do this enough because you want to make sure you don't have any air pockets down in there that might cause issues later on. Haven't had that happen, but you know. My hands are clean, by the way. I just took my little rubber gloves off and washed them again. But like I say, once you put something in a pressure cooker, it's so hot in there that, you know, you don't have to worry necessarily about sterilizing jars, etc. As I do that, I take my clean rag and wipe the top, make sure I get all the moisture off, get my ring, my lid, I'm sorry, out of my hot water, put it on top, grab a ring, finger tighten it, it's ready to go in the canner. Well, here they are, just about ready to go in the canner. They look pretty before they're even canned, and they look even prettier when they come out. I have 7 full quarts, which is what my pressure cooker will hold, and guess what? I have more. So my theory of 2 pots equals canner won't work with butternut squash. It'll work with kashaw, but not with butternut. So I am going to put this aside, let it cool, cut up some more, and maybe do another canner full tomorrow. But I'm going to load up my cans, my jars, and then I will show you the result when they're finished. Well, here they are. Squash is done, just took it out of the canner. And you can see how lovely it came out. There's our butternut squash. You still see the bubbles if you look really close, but it's all done.